Introduction: the ache of feeling alone. Have you ever walked into a room full of people and still felt alone? Or laid in bed at night, replaying every fear and failure, wondering if anyone really sees you? Loneliness has a way of creeping into even the busiest lives. And it's not just about being physically alone. Sometimes the deepest loneliness is spiritual. That quiet ache of wondering, is God really here? Does he see me? Will he stay? For many in our modern world, even in the heart of American culture, surrounded by noise, connection, and endless activity, loneliness and anxiety are everyday companions. But Hebrews 13 verses 5 to 6 cuts through the noise like a warm voice in the dark. Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. Those are not just poetic words. They are a divine promise that speaks to every fear, every doubt, and every lonely night. Let's explore this promise in depth, what it means, how it transforms lives, and how it can change yours. Understanding the Scripture, God's unbreakable promise. The book of Hebrews was written to early Christians facing persecution, isolation, and doubt. The writer reminds them, and us, that God's presence isn't conditional. He doesn't walk away when things get hard. He doesn't abandon us when we're struggling. Instead, he declares, "Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you." The language here is emphatic. In the original Greek, it's a stacking of negatives to drive the point home. I will never, no never, not at all ever leave you. God's promise is ironclad, and this declaration is paired with a response. So we say with confidence, "The Lord is my helper, I will not be afraid." Why is this important? Because knowing God is with you changes how you face everything else. When you believe you're not alone, fear loses its grip. Anxiety fades. Courage rises. A real-life story, Anna's storm. Anna was a young woman living in a small Midwest town. After graduating college, she found herself stuck in a cycle of temp jobs, struggling with identity, and feeling increasingly distant from the faith she once held dear. Her prayers felt like echoes, and her life like a fog. Then, in the same month, she lost her job in her apartment. The weight of failure pressed down on her chest. She couch-surfed with friends, applied for jobs daily, and cried herself to sleep more nights than she could count. One evening, she wandered into a small local church. It wasn't a grand revival or emotional worship service. It was quiet, simple. During the message, the pastor read Hebrews 13 verses 5 to 6. The words hit her heart like a wave. "Never will I leave you. Never will I forsake you." Anna wrote those words on a sticky note and placed it in her wallet. Every time she felt panic rise, at a job interview, on a friend's couch, in the quiet of the night, she would touch that note and whisper, "You are with me." Weeks later, she landed a full-time job and found a small apartment. But more than that, she discovered something deeper. God never left. Even when she felt forgotten, he was guiding, holding, and preparing her. Today, Anna often says, "The turning point wasn't when life got better. It was when I believed he was with me even when it wasn't." A parable, the shadow and the shepherd. Imagine a child walking through a dark forest, shadows stretching and whispering in the wind. She grips her father's hand tightly, afraid of every sound. But the father walks calmly, never letting go. When the child stumbles, he picks her up. When fear wells up, he whispers, "I'm here. I'm not going anywhere." The forest doesn't stop being dark. The journey doesn't suddenly get easier. But something shifts. The child stops fearing the shadows because her trust in the one holding her grows deeper. This is what God's promise in Hebrews 13 verses 5 to 6 is like. It doesn't mean life will be easy. It means we are never alone in it. Practical application. How to live like you're never alone. So how do we actually live in this truth? How do we let the promise of God's presence shape our daily lives? Start and end your day with presence awareness. Before you check your phone in the morning or turn off the lights at night, take a moment to say, "God, thank you for being here." Make his presence the bookends of your day. Create a reminder object. Like Anna's sticky note, find a physical item, a bracelet, a coin, a keychain, that reminds you of God's promise. Touch it when fear tries to take over. Memorize Hebrews 13 verses 5 to 6. Let these words be the soundtrack of your soul. When anxiety whispers, you speak louder. "The Lord is my helper, I will not be afraid." Reach out. God often shows his presence through people. Don't isolate. Talk to a trusted friend, join a small group, or just send a text. Can we talk? Connection reminds you that you are not alone. Keep a journal of evidence. Write down moments, even small ones, where you felt God's help, an encouraging word, a surprising provision, a moment of unexpected peace. Over time, these entries will become your own personal book of faith. Conclusion: the courage of never being forsaken. So now I ask you, what would change in your life if you really believed God would never leave you? Would you step out in faith more boldly? Would you face challenges with greater peace? Would you quiet the anxious voices with the confident whisper, "He is with me"? The promise of Hebrews 13 verses 5 to 6 isn't just for someone else. It's for you right here, right now. No matter how many times you've felt overlooked, forgotten, or afraid, God has never left your side, and He never will. Take a breath, let the fear fade, and hear Him speak again. Never will I leave you. Never will I forsake you. If this message encouraged your heart, be sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. You can also support our ministry on PayPal to help us keep sharing God's promises with the world. You are not alone. Not now. Not ever.